is that I was never good enough for God. And, I was always working on asking for forgiveness and asking, for direction and trying to, be good enough and make the right decision, and always in this space of, never just being quite good. And the truth of the matter is that God does not forgive, for the presence of love has never condemned. And so your angels are not condemning beings. You are good enough anyway. So I just wanted to hear your feedback. I know some people like turn off the chat and some people like wanting to share, but it's really important as I make my way through this journey with you to hear your feedback, because I can't see you. We're not in the same room, and I need to know we're on the same track so that we progress on this journey together. So, just diving into some of the questions that I have been sent in ahead of this call today. Do we only have one guardian angel, or can we have multiple at the same time? In my experience, most of us have more than one guardian angel. There is one specific angel that you will have forever. And this angel has been with you since before you come into this life, and they will be with you after it too. But as we progress along our life and through our journey, some angels come and go depending on our life lesson or what phase we are in our journey. I've noticed that some people have more angels. I'll never forget this one time. I used to write for a newspaper as a columnist. I was called the Angel Whisperer. I wrote there for nearly 6 years, and I loved writing that column. And I remember doing a meet and greet with the newspaper, and there was this, line of people wanting to come and say hey. And I remember as this woman and her daughter were walking towards me, I just had this vision in my mind of this girl, and she had, I can't remember the exact number, but it was like between 7 and 9 angels around her. And I was like, whoa, that is insane. I've never seen so many people, so many angels around one person. So the mother of the girl comes up to me and she says, my daughter's really shy, but she's really excited to meet you. She's a really big fan. And I was like, oh, cool. I'd love to chat and say hey. And I was like, well, I want to be really honest. Your daughter has all these angels around her. And she was like, whoa, really? And so the little girl hears me say, that she has all these angels. And she says, well, how many angels do I have? And I think it was 7. And I said, you have 7 angels, 7 guardian angels around you. And her mom goes, 7? Whoa. And I was like, is that relevant in some way? And she said, my daughter was resuscitated 7 times in her life. And again, I'm getting every time she came back into her body, another angel was assigned to her. And so she had all these angels all around her. Blows me away to think about it, that these synchronistic things happen that just really remind us how something is out there. So yeah, we can have more than one angel, and I've encountered people with 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the way up to 7. So yes, we can have more than one angel, but you'll find that one angel is always louder than the others. Can I call on or speak to my guardian angels all the time? And the answer is yes. You can speak to your angels anytime, and it doesn't always have to be in prayer format. It could just be easy, open, conversational connection. Because in order to connect with our angels deeper, it's important to also speak to them when things are going right, not just when things are going wrong. And I think that's where a lot of people face this gigantic block when it comes to opening up to angels, is that it's usually when the stuff has hit the fan that most of us will then start to pray and reach out to our angels or ask for help. And I've found that through the development of a relationship, just speaking to them day to day through everything that's going on in your life, you create a more powerful connection and relationship. And so when this stuff hits the fan, you'll feel like the connection is there to hold you through it rather than wondering if it's there or not. And that's where a lot of people get it wrong. A lot of people don't ask, don't pray, don't chat, don't connect in their life. Then when something goes wrong in their life, then they drop down to their knees and they start to pray. And then in that wonder of, is someone or something listening to me? That's when we say, I'm losing my faith. I'm not so sure. I'm this is real anymore. I've lost my faith, and they kind of fall out with their angels or God. And that's actually just self-sabotage, because the reason we have faith and the reason we develop this connection is that so we have a guiding force in our life, and if something goes wrong along the way, there's a power and a presence that we can call on to lead us forward and to guide us and to help us feel more safe, to help us heal, to help us get connected, and to help us find resolution. But usually when we kind of throw that moment of, I'm losing my faith, we're actually throwing ourselves into a state of even more darkness and uncertainty, when really the reason we learned all this stuff was that when the stuff goes wrong and the stuff hits the fan, we can then lean on it. And that's the whole purpose of a spiritual connection. That's the whole purpose of faith. So yes, speak to your guardian angels all of the time. Develop that relationship. Open up that conversation. Share with them when things are going right, not just when things are going wrong. And you'll find that when you really do need help, it will be more accessible to you. Do our pets, animals, pick up on angels' presence? And I would say yes, some pets are really psychic, really connected, and some are not. So I've found that some of my animals definitely have something going on, and others are completely in their own planet, in their own world. Just kind of like humans, some people are more connected than others. So I would say that one of my dogs is particularly quite creepy. And then, yeah, my main big dog doesn't see anything. So it's quite interesting. You'll find that. And I've noticed that my cat, Ralph, definitely can see stuff, whereas my cat Haniel doesn't. So yes, some animals have the connection and some of them don't. You'll find that. How do we know the difference between our angels and our thoughts speaking to us? This is a brilliant, brilliant question, because I think all of us wonder how to know the difference between the voice of love or intuition and the voice of fear, ego. And the best way to know when your angels are speaking to you, and this is going to be a game changer for you, is how you feel. If you experience or hear a message and you feel anxious and overwhelmed, and the possibility of whatever you're thinking about is getting to you, it's not your angels. If you hear guidance coming from source, God, angels, love, intuition, you will feel an instant air of calm. It does not matter if you are in a life or death situation. When your angels appear, they will make you feel so cool, so calm, so collected, even if it's like the most craziest of circumstance, and they will lead you towards safety. So when you're getting a message and you're wondering, is that my ego, am I making this up, or is this guidance? Ask yourself how you feel when you receive the information, and really just note how your body feels, how your nervous system feels. If you feel cool and calm and collected, it's your angels. If you feel anxious and time is against you, it's your ego. Because the egoic system is a linear system. It needs time. It needs to use something against you to kind of give you the fear that something is going to go wrong if you don't take action. Whereas your angels will just hold you and tell you what you need to do. And if you don't take action, that's still going to be okay anyway. So they have a coolness about them. I've noticed that in many people that I've met, interviewed, connected with over the years, people who are, being carjacked and have this voice that just says, do this, do this, do this, do that, and you'll be fine. And the angel spoke to them, and even though it was a really intense, stressful situation, they were really calm, they knew exactly what they were doing, and they got out safe. That's what our angels do. When I wrote for Women's World magazine for nearly 5 years as well, I got hundreds of messages in from people saying, I was driving and I just heard this voice say, change lanes now. And the changing lanes was just a suggestion. It wasn't a command, and it was a decision. But they heard the voice, they felt calm, and they changed lanes, only to find out that the truck in front of them had trees that were falling off the back of it, and they were saved. So when our angels speak, they will make us feel really calm and really collected, even if it's a life or death situation. And that's how you know the difference. What's the difference between guardian angels and spirit guides? Brilliant question. Angels are usually for the most part, non-humanoid beings, ancient beings emanating from the heart of God. And spirit guides are usually souls of people who have had a human existence, an incarnation, and then are dedicating their understanding and their knowledge and their experience of life to the growth of someone else from heaven. So the only difference between an angel and a spirit guide for the most part is one's had an ego and a body and one has not. Now, I said to you yesterday, or in the last call, I keep saying yesterday, but in case you're catching up, I said in the last call that some souls can become angels, but they have to transcend their ego in order to do so. That's why children can be angelic beings if they pass over too soon, because they've transcended